The way she listens with intent, how she remembers the smallest details about you, the way she stands firm in her values when it would be easier to bend. You see the patience she shows when life tests her, the way she finds joy in simple things, and the courage she carries into uncertain situations. These are the things that make her radiant, even in moments when she feels invisible. True compliments touch the parts of her that the mirror cannot reflect. Tell her you admire her wisdom when she shares her perspective. Acknowledge her bravery when she takes a risk or makes a decision that scares her. Notice the kindness she offers without expectation, the way she uplifts others without needing the spotlight. When you recognize these things, you tell her, I see you in the truest sense, not the curated image the world sees, but the real, unfiltered version of her. Many women have been conditioned to believe their value lies in how they look. Society praises youth, symmetry, and trends, often forgetting that beauty fades but character deepens. By going beyond beauty, you break that narrative. You remind her that she is worthy of admiration not because she fits a certain mold, but because she is uniquely herself. You show her that her voice matters, her ideas have weight, and her presence changes the atmosphere in ways no appearance ever could. When you speak to her spirit rather than her surface, you give her a rare gift, a form of validation that is not dependent on makeup, clothes, or lighting. It's the kind of compliment she will remember on days she feels unseen, the kind that strengthens her from within. And when a woman feels truly seen for who she is, she blooms in ways that no physical beauty alone could inspire. That is the power of going beyond beauty. It's choosing to see her not just as she appears, but as she exists in her entirety. And when you do, you don't just make her feel special, you make her feel real. So much of what a woman does goes unseen. She invests countless hours, energy, and emotional labor into her work, her family, her relationships, and herself, often without anyone acknowledging the weight she carries. People notice results, but rarely the path it took to get there. They see the smile, but not the sleepless nights, the polished outcome, but not the moments she almost gave up. That's why validating her effort matters. It's not just appreciation, it's recognition of the invisible battle she fights every day. When you tell a woman, I see how hard you've been working, you speak to the part of her that wonders if anyone notices. You tell her that her dedication is not taken for granted. Whether she's building a career, caring for loved ones, pursuing education, or simply holding herself together through difficult times, her efforts deserve to be honored. It's easy to praise achievements when they are obvious, but the deeper connection comes when you acknowledge the small, consistent acts that most overlook. A woman might spend hours perfecting a project at work, not because she wants recognition, but because she values excellence. She might pour herself into creating a warm and loving home, ensuring everyone else feels cared for before she even thinks about herself. She might commit to her own growth, learning, evolving, breaking old patterns without announcing it to the world. None of this comes without effort, and often that effort is exhausting. When someone pauses to say, I know this took a lot from you, it can feel like the weight she's been carrying has been shared, even for a moment. Validation of effort is powerful because it acknowledges the process, not just the outcome. It says, I see what you did and I understand it wasn't easy. It makes her feel valued not only for what she achieves, but for the perseverance and intention she puts into everything she touches. This kind of recognition builds trust, deepens connection, and fuels her motivation to keep going, especially when life feels overwhelming. Too often, women are expected to just handle things without complaint, as though their strength is limitless. Society romanticizes their resilience without respecting the cost it takes to maintain it. By validating her effort, you offer more than praise. You offer empathy. You show that you notice the emotional investment, the planning, the sacrifices, and the silent endurance that others may overlook. And sometimes, that validation is the thing that helps her push through one more day. It's the reminder that she's not invisible, that her presence and persistence matter. Effort is an extension of the heart, and when you honor that, you honor her at the deepest level. It tells her she's not just functioning, she's making a difference, and someone truly sees the work she's doing to hold it all together. Strength in a woman is often misunderstood. People see it as the ability to endure without breaking, to carry burdens without complaint, to keep going no matter how heavy the load. But real strength is more than silent endurance. It's the courage to face life's storms while still holding on to kindness, grace, and self-respect. When you appreciate a woman's strength, you're acknowledging far more than her ability to handle it. You're recognizing the quiet battles she fights, the choices she makes when no one is watching, and the moments she chooses to rise when giving up would have been easier. A woman's strength often comes from places most people never see. It's built from the times she's been knocked down and found a way to stand back up. It's shaped by heartbreaks she never spoke of, disappointments she learned to turn into lessons, and losses that could have hardened her, but instead deepened her compassion. She may appear composed on the outside, but that composure is the product of countless moments where she refused to let life break her spirit. Appreciating her strength means seeing beyond the surface. It's telling her, "I see what you've overcome," or "I admire how you held yourself through that." It's not about praising her for never showing vulnerability, because true strength allows vulnerability. It's about honoring the balance she keeps between being resilient and still being human. Sometimes her greatest display of strength isn't in pushing through, but in knowing when to rest, when to set boundaries, and when to walk away from what harms her. Too often, women's strength is taken for granted. People become accustomed to them always being the strong one, always stepping up, always managing, as though it costs them nothing. But strength has a price. It can be exhausting to always be the one others depend on, to navigate life with a brave face even when fear, doubt, or pain are present. By appreciating her strength, you offer her something rare, a reminder that she is not just a source of support, but a person worthy of being supported herself. Acknowledging her strength can be as simple as telling her you notice how she handled a challenge with dignity, or how she continues to move forward despite obstacles. These moments of recognition matter because they affirm that her efforts, sacrifices, and perseverance are seen. They tell her she's not just surviving, she's inspiring. The beauty of appreciating a woman's strength is that it doesn't make her feel like she has to keep being strong for you. Instead, it gives her space to breathe, knowing that her resilience is valued but not demanded. And sometimes that space is all she needs to keep carrying herself with the same quiet, powerful grace that makes her who she is. Values are not built overnight. They are shaped by her upbringing, her struggles, the lessons she's learned, and the promises she's made to herself. They might include honesty, loyalty, compassion, integrity, or a deep respect for herself and others. These qualities influence every interaction she has, whether it's choosing to tell the truth when a lie would be easier, or showing kindness even when the world hasn't been kind to her. When you acknowledge these traits, you validate the moral strength that shapes her life. Too often, the modern world overlooks values in favor of appearances, status, or quick results. But values are what endure when everything else fades. They are the reason she refuses to betray herself, even when standing firm costs her opportunities, relationships, or approval. Admiring her values means seeing her not just for what she does, but for why she does it. It means telling her, I respect how you stand by your principles, or I admire the way you treat people, even when no one is watching. This kind of recognition carries more weight than any surface level compliment. It tells her that you see the substance behind her actions. It honors the sacrifices she's made to stay aligned with what she believes in. A woman who lives by her values has likely faced moments where it would have been easier to compromise, but she chose the harder path because it was the right one for her. Admiring her values also means appreciating the ripple effect they have on others. The way she holds herself can inspire people around her to rise to a higher standard. Her commitment to fairness can influence those in her life to act with more integrity. Her compassion can soften hardened hearts. These effects are not always immediate or visible, but they are real, and they make the world a better place in subtle, lasting ways. When you tell a woman that her values inspire you, you remind her that the quiet, principled choices she makes matter. You reinforce her belief that living authentically is worth it, even when it's difficult. In a world that constantly pressures people to bend or break for convenience, such validation is powerful. It encourages her to keep walking her path with the same unwavering conviction, knowing that someone truly sees and respects the core of who she is. Every woman carries a combination of qualities, experiences, and perspectives that cannot be replicated. Her uniqueness is not just in her appearance or her voice, it's in the way she thinks, feels, and interacts with the world. Yet, so often, women are compared to others, placed in boxes, or measured against unrealistic standards. Recognition of her uniqueness is about breaking that cycle. It's about seeing her as incomparable, not because she is flawless, but because there is no one else who brings the exact same energy, insight, and presence that she does. Her uniqueness may show in subtle ways: the way she tells a story, the warmth in her laughter, the patience she has with those who test her, or the creativity she brings to solving a problem. It could be in her habits, her way of processing life, or the blend of strengths and quirks that make her who she is. Recognizing this means you are paying attention to her in a way most people don't. You're noticing the details, the ones she might not even realize are special. Too often people try to praise women by comparing them to others. You're just like, or you remind me of, but true recognition of uniqueness has no comparison. It says, I see you for you. It's the acknowledgement that her path, her choices, and even her mistakes are part of a one-of-a-kind story no one else could live. When you reflect this back to her, you are giving her a mirror that shows more than beauty or success. It shows individuality and irreplaceable value. Recognizing a woman's uniqueness also means appreciating the parts of her that might not fit the mold. Maybe she's bold where others are reserved, or quiet where others demand attention. Maybe she holds unconventional beliefs, wears her heart on her sleeve, or carries an unusual mix of talents. These differences are not flaws to be fixed. They're the exact traits that make her unforgettable. When someone acknowledges these qualities without trying to change them, it creates a powerful sense of acceptance. Life often pressures women to blend in, to conform to what's expected, and to mute parts of themselves that others might not understand. When you highlight her uniqueness, you give her permission to stand in it with pride. You remind her that she doesn't have to dim her light to fit in with the crowd, because her value lies in the very things that make her different. When a woman feels truly seen for her individuality, it strengthens her confidence in ways nothing else can. It reassures her that she doesn't need to compete or compare because no one can replicate her. And that recognition becomes a quiet but powerful affirmation that her presence in the world is not just appreciated, but irreplaceable. Every woman carries dreams within her, some spoken, others kept quietly in the corners of her heart. These dreams may be about her career, her art, her personal growth, or the life she envisions for herself. They might be bold and visible or small and deeply personal. Yet, in a world that often tells women to be practical, to play it safe, or to put others first, many of these dreams remain dormant. Encouragement of her dreams is not just about telling her she can do it. It's about showing genuine belief in her potential and giving her the emotional space to pursue what matters to her. When you encourage a woman's dreams, you are telling her that her aspirations are not foolish or selfish. You're letting her know they are worthy of her time, energy, and dedication. Often, a woman's dreams have been shaped in quiet moments of hope, born from passions that may not yet have been fully explored. She might hesitate to share them out of fear of judgment or failure. Your encouragement can be the bridge between her hesitation and her action. Belief is contagious. When someone she trusts genuinely believes she can achieve her goals, it strengthens her own belief. That belief doesn't have to come in grand speeches. It can be in small, consistent affirmations. I know you can do this. You have what it takes. Or, I believe in you even when it's hard. These words plant seeds of confidence that can grow into resilience when she faces challenges along the way. Encouragement is also about active support. It means listening when she talks about her plans, asking questions to understand them, and offering help where possible, not to take over, but to empower her. Sometimes the encouragement she needs is simply knowing that someone will stand beside her if she stumbles. Other times, it's reminding her of her strengths when doubt clouds her vision. Many women are natural encouragers of others, but they don't always receive that same energy in return. They cheer for friends, family, and colleagues, often without anyone cheering for them. When you become that voice of encouragement for her, you're giving her a rare gift. A reminder that she too deserves to be championed. Dreams are fragile in their early stages. They can be easily crushed by cynicism or dismissed by those who can't see the vision. But encouragement acts as a shield, protecting those dreams until they are strong enough to stand on their own. Your belief can give her the courage to take the first step, to keep going when things get difficult, and to see her journey through to the end. When you encourage a woman's dreams, you're not just supporting her ambitions. You're affirming her right to live a life that excites and fulfills her. You're telling her that her goals are not only possible, but worth pursuing, and that she has someone in her corner who believes she is capable of achieving them. A woman's impact often extends far beyond what she realizes. She influences lives through her words, her actions, her presence, and even through the quiet example she sets when no one is paying attention. Yet, much of this impact goes unacknowledged. People feel the warmth of her care, the guidance of her wisdom, or the strength of her support, but rarely pause to say, "You've made a difference in my life." Expressing gratitude for her impact is about more than politeness. It's about holding up a mirror so she can see the value she brings to the world. Sometimes her impact is direct, like helping someone through a difficult time, inspiring a friend to take a leap, or mentoring someone who needed guidance. Other times it's indirect. She might not even be aware that her resilience gave someone else the courage to keep going, or that her kindness changed a stranger's day. Gratitude makes the invisible visible. It tells her that her efforts, intentional or not, have mattered in ways she may never have expected. A woman who pours herself into others often does so without expecting anything in return. She might support her family, nurture her friendships, or dedicate herself to her work without seeking recognition. But when you express genuine gratitude, you give her more than acknowledgement. You give her affirmation that what she's doing is meaningful. That affirmation can be deeply encouraging, especially on days when she questions whether her presence really matters. Gratitude for her impact is most powerful when it's specific. Instead of a general thank you, telling her exactly what she did and how it affected you makes the message unforgettable. Your advice helped me make one of the best decisions of my life. Or the way you handled that situation taught me what true patience looks like. These details turn gratitude into a lasting memory she can carry with her. It's also important to express gratitude for qualities, not just actions. Maybe her consistency in being there for people has given you a sense of stability. Maybe her belief in you has shaped your confidence. These impacts aren't always tied to single moments. They're part of the steady influence she has on the lives around her. By pointing them out, you show her that her way of being in the world has meaning. Many women underestimate the scope of their influence because it's woven into the fabric of everyday life. They may never know how deeply they've touched someone unless they're told. When you take the time to express that gratitude, you give her the gift of perspective, a reminder that her existence has ripples far beyond what she can see. Gratitude for her impact doesn't just make her feel appreciated, it reinforces her sense of purpose. It tells her that who she is and what she gives are not only noticed, but deeply valued. And in that acknowledgement, you give her one of the most powerful affirmations a person can receive, that she truly matters. A woman's sense of worth is often challenged by the world around her. Society bombards her with messages about who she should be, how she should look, and what she should achieve, creating a constant pressure to measure up to impossible standards. Over time, these messages can make her question whether she is enough as she is. Affirmation of worth is the antidote to that doubt. It is the reminder that she has value, not because of what she does, how she looks, or who she pleases, but simply because of who she is. Affirming her worth means telling her she does not need to earn love or respect through perfection. It means showing her that her existence alone carries significance. When you remind her that she is worthy, you are offering a truth that is both grounding and liberating. She doesn't have to constantly prove herself to be deserving of kindness, happiness, or opportunity. This kind of affirmation goes deeper than flattery. It's not about empty praise, it's about speaking to her intrinsic value. You might say, "You matter just as you are," or "Your presence is enough." Words like these can be especially powerful when she is feeling overlooked, judged, or inadequate. They cut through the noise of external expectations and speak directly to her heart. A woman's worth is not diminished by mistakes, failures, or moments of struggle. Yet in difficult times, it can be easy for her to feel defined by those low points. Affirmation of worth reminds her that she is not the sum of her challenges. It says, "Your value doesn't disappear when life gets hard," or "You are still enough even when you're not at your best." Affirming her worth also means recognizing that she is not defined solely by her roles, whether as a daughter, partner, mother, friend, or professional. She is a whole person, separate from what she provides for others. Too often, women are celebrated for what they give, but not for who they are. True affirmation acknowledges the person behind the contributions, ensuring she knows she is loved and respected even when she is not actively doing for others. Sometimes the most powerful affirmations are given not just through words, but through actions. Listening without judgment, respecting her boundaries, and treating her with consistent kindness all communicate that she is valued. Actions reinforce what words declare, creating a steady foundation that helps her believe in her own worth even when self-doubt creeps in. When a woman hears and feels this affirmation, it can change the way she walks through the world. She no longer seeks constant validation from external sources because she begins to trust her own value. Affirmation of worth plants a seed of confidence that grows into self-assurance, allowing her to show up fully, authentically, and unapologetically herself. And in a world that often tries to diminish her, that affirmation becomes a quiet yet powerful act of love.